Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Good afternoon and welcome to Car Wax. I'm Michael, your Bougie Black Brother, and I'm here for my next super producer, not super producer, but producer, beat maker, DJ, whatever you want to call him. I did mention him previously when we did a quick review on Knowledge. This one is Mndsgn. So Mndsgn is Ringo Acheta. He's Philippine. He's from the Philippines. He was born in San Diego, went off to Jersey. After Jersey, he hooked up with a lot of people from there. You know, that was that Knowledge hookup. And then he came back to Los Angeles where he's recording right now. And I got with him because he had a lot of really laid back, great type of actually mixes and everything that I was really excited by. So I started hearing him along with a lot of other ones. So Mndsgn is spelled Mndsgn. Mndsgn. That's how he's kind of have it that way. But really interesting. And he has a couple of EPs, and then he released some on his new label. And the new label is Stone's Throw Records. I think that's in Los Angeles. You know, Knowledge is on there as well. So you got these guys over there, beat makers, and he actually do songwriting and writing as well. And I'm going to get into that because that's what makes him a little more different than the other guys. But he's really unique. Electronic, hip hop, and experimental. They put experimental on there. But I'm going to only go with the ones that I like dealing with, the EPs that I enjoyed, as well as a couple of the major releases on his labels. So let's get right into Mndsgn. So the first thing I wanted to get into when it comes to Mndsgn, he had an album back in 2013 called Feels, Feels. You can see the crazy looking album. And when you first cut this on, and this is where a lot of people, they compliment the production and everything on this first cut that you get from the Feels album. I just thought it was awesome. I just said, wow, what a great introduction to this guy. And you wouldn't believe the type of sampling he has done, because he went way back to get a lot of different kind of samples. I kind of even did some research, and he sampled, allegedly, he sampled, it seems like it's a Brazilian cut back from 1958, Chega de Saudade. So I'm listening to this and I'm trying to catch that sample, because it's not an extended sample like most people take. And as you hear it, it's like, oh, so it sounds exactly. No, it doesn't. He's chopping a portion up and he's using it. And it's just so odd the way he made this such an amazing type cut. And now that you have it, you're just like, yo, this dude is awesome. Then it introduces you to the next cut. And what it does, the next cut is Schwinn, and wasn't a real popular one, but I like it. I like it because I see the way he cut up different samples within that, and he has a great sample from an album called Raspberry Green, and this is 1976. So it starts off with a certain beat and everything, and you hear the psychedelics of this. And then he just put that drum beat behind it. But as you start listening to this, and it rolls within that, and you can hear the complexities and the synthesizer and different tones that he actually put together. Then the sample comes in, and you're not expecting this other portion to come in. But if you hear that song, you hear it, and you'll be like, oh, this is what he did. And then he used this little Bow. I just fucking love that part. So I just think it's a phenomenal cut. And from that, I moved on to Bobby Humphrey cut called Eco. It's EKO. And as you see this, you listening to this, it takes you back to that old, back to the soulful days. And it has that little soul feel. And he puts an up tempo to it. And but it flows so well. So you know this is a Bobby Humphrey joint, back from '73. So he's gone back into the crates of the 70s, a couple of the 50s, 60s. He's really digging for some uniqueness in that. And since it's 2013, this is him before he started changing to this electronics. And this is where I got excited by it, because he didn't get into all the electronics in that way. He kind of just started sampling to find himself. And that's why I really wanted to start with feels. And then he started feeling, see that? No pun intended. And then he gets into that. But the last one on this album I just found was really unique, because as you hear this, it's almost like, almost religious, really laid back, but it sounds familiar. So as you hear the familiarity of this cut, you realize it's not that far back. This is a D'Angelo cut, and he samples him kind of having this moaning, soulful deal on here. So as an introduction to some people, this is very different than where he is right now. But I wanted to make sure that when you hit these, you seeing this is where he was when he first started kind of building. And this is one of his EPs. This is not really one of his full length. So he went from there, and I'm loving every single thing that he went from that. So feeling that, I wanted to bring in his album that I heard. This is the one that I've heard all over, all of the downloads, the Spotify's and the Pandora's, Apple, is the album Yawn Zen. So with this Yawn Zen, I really started listening to it way back when I was really in a stressful mood, and I really started putting on a lot of chill music. So when you listen to a lot of chill, it puts you in a place, you can lay back, whatever your vice is, whether it's weed or whatever, drinking. I got bottles of wines like crazy, mad wine back there. But I'm turning around, and then I'll put this on. And this one, it's only about 36 minutes. 31 minutes actually, with about 11 songs, because he's actually does a lot of short ones as well. So all of these little 2 minute, 1 minute, 3 minute, 2 minute segments, and he only do 11, and it winds up to be pretty decent. But the first one came out that stood out for me in here was Homeward, and it's kind of like just, it's almost like how would you say, harps, but it's an organ, and it has just a simple drum beat, little snare, and then it's just little bells, and it's just really cool. It's just a really smooth, cool rhythm. Yeah, it's Homewards. And before that, you had the first one was Yawn. But this is the one that actually took me to a point that I can start saying, wow, how interesting is this guy? This guy really switched from doing one way, which is a lot of crazy sampling, into this electronics chill mode. And then he went from that. So I was like, okay, this guy's changed for me. So what does he have next? Because, I'm kind of looking at if he would go back to the feels and these other ones from that. But then the other one that stood out, because a lot of the other ones on here, I'm not going to go to each and every one of them, but they're cool, they're a little electronic, they're a little chill, but more electronic. He really made a lot of these. I couldn't find, he did some samples, but nothing that really stood out that made it different. But he did some beautiful cuts with that. But the next one I like was Convert, and you hear the little distortion in that. I love that, you know, you hear that little distortion in there, and what he's trying to do is bring you into another swing. It's almost like it goes back to a pendulum, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But it's a really good rhythmically a beat that he's made, but it just puts you in a good place. And the reason why I liked it the most is because I was prepared for this. This is something that I really liked, and with my hip hop background, electronics background, and starting to get more into some more chill music, this was perfect. This just came right in, and I was able to kind of embrace a lot of this. But the last one from this album I wanted to talk through is this one that he made a video on, Camel Blues. It sounds like an old school 70s type deal. It's almost, again, back to the psychedelic tune, but he listened to the little beats and everything that he coming in there. But this is Camel Blues. So watching this video, you can see him walk through the aisles, and he picks up like a little portable organ box, and then there's a small little portable organ, hops a chord, and he starts his little singing, and it just so kind of like laid back and just cool, and he's like in a thrift shop, and you know, he's walking through there, and he starts to sing. And what makes that really interesting is I listened to a couple of his other releases, and he has one that is full of vocals. I think it's Body Wash. Now, I wasn't bad, but I just didn't feel it all the way. But the vocals that he actually puts on and he starts with, I like his, because it sounds similar to someone else that I was listening to. So I wind up enjoying a lot of this, as opposed to saying, wow, what the hell is he trying to do? It's just different. He's making a different way, and he's saying, this is my style and the way I'm going to start doing this. Which brings me to really currently what I started listening to, what Mndsgn has, which is Snaxx, Snaxx. But prior to that, in 2018, he had a mixtape called Snaxx, which is Snax. It was a mixtape. Kind of different stuff was on there. Had some rap, had some like R&B feel on it. But was really cool. And what came out of that was he was supposed to do like a full-length album and different things in 2019. But what came out of that, which was interesting, was he found some more tracks off a hard drive and just continued from that and just made some beats from there. And what made it pretty cool from that is these beats was just as hot. So Snaxx, which came out in 2019, which listed as electronic, had a lot of good R&B feel, a little jazzy, back to really where he came from prior to the Zen and the Body Wash and all of that. So he sort of had that feel from that. So one of the first ones that I started enjoying was Spreads. So you listen to Spreads, it takes you back to that earlier Feels album, and it has a kind of laid back, jazzy, hey, this is what I'm chilling with. So, and it's really, really cool. So I'm going to give you a good feel of his rhythms and his flow. So if there's two people that you can listen to similar today, is DJ Unwind, as well as my boy Evil Needle. And I may do something, because Evil Needle just came out with something recently. He's a French-German DJ turned beat maker. But this Spread is just so smooth. And you listening to this and you're kind of like, Yeah, okay. I get where it's going. And then as you go and proceed down, it gets back into the more electronics and everything. But then you get into a cut called Over Easy. And I liked it because it was fun. It was weird. It had a little Asian feel to it, and slash, what, a psychedelic type. And it had some flutes up in there, like winner, winner. And it was it was really entertaining. So that one stood out for me. Out of all of these other electronics, he turned and did something kind of unorthodox again. Now these are short, so I'm gonna give you another. There's 14 songs, right? 14 songs for like 26 minutes. That's all it was, and which made it like, wow, okay, this is where we're going now. Okay, but then this what turned me on now, and then we jump into a cut called Chips, and Chips gives me a almost, I say mid 80s feel, with a really sing-songy, cloudy, and it's smooth. And he puts the beats on here that lays so well. And I think the guy who's singing on there is John Bapp. But this is really nice. This is one of the nicer ones on here that if you want to go back into the laid back feel that he's actually was producing, this puts you in there. And it's like cut number 11. And the last one that I kind of enjoyed on there, which it's almost a good ending. Actually, it's not the last one. It's number 13. It's Snaxx with You. And I think her name is Acel Hazel. It had like an acoustic guitar, and she has that breathy tone to her singing, but really not saying anything. It's just a whole kind of feel. So Solange had that feel. If you listen to her last album, it was just a feel, and the music played really well with the feel that she was presenting. And this one was like close to 59 seconds. 59 seconds. It was barely anything. But that was Snaxx. So I wanted to bring him out. This guy, I really enjoyed him. I'm looking forward to see what he's doing next with a full-length album. So I really would like to see what he does next, or who he collaborates with, because he can make serious beats that can really complement a lot of people. And being out on the West Coast, you never know who needs a good beat or who would say, hey, look, I want some of your stuff. But Mndsgn, really like this guy, Mndsgn. So check him out when you get an opportunity. Good producer, DJ / he's doing some of his vocals. So let's see if he goes back to that too. But Michael Bougie Black Brother, tune in to Car Wax on Sundays. I try to get those out on Sundays. It'll probably be every 2 to 3 weeks if I can get a good producer. I got somebody coming up, probably Evil Needle, because I really liked him, and I like him rather. And he's done some things that I loved earlier, but his new album, I'm going to check out, and I really would like to do something with it. So, Car Wax, bougieblackbrother.com, or just get Car Wax on your podcast downloads, and you can get most of my other music reviews. So, thank you very much, and we'll see you next time on Car Wax. Peace.